Part of the journey is the end. And the end is finally here with Attack on Titan chapter 139. Wow. The fact that we are here is just mind blowing. I've been following this franchise for such a long time. I remember the first time I got into Attack on Titan, I was playing The Walking Dead on the Kindle, the first edition of the Kindle. So back when the Kindle first came out, right, I was playing The Walking Dead Telltale Edition. And my friend came up to me and showed me Attack on Titan for the first time. And from there, I've been a huge fan of the franchise. It's in my top 3 mangas of all time. And I feel like no matter if you love the series or if you're a diehard or if you're a casual, I feel like most people will agree this is, without a shadow of a doubt, this is a top 10 manga of all time. It's one of the greatest of all time. So many twists and turns. It's so unique with its story and its writing. And I just love everything about it. I know there's a lot of people that love the ending. I know there's a lot of people that don't like the ending and are disappointed. But, I want you guys to look at the story from a whole, right? There's going to be a lot of recency bias with this chapter, especially now that the anime is, on break because, Attack on Titan anime will not be finishing until next year. So a lot of people are going to take this time to catch up on the manga to prepare for when the anime returns. And, people are going to be talking about this for months, not just weeks, for months. And I feel like it's important for people to recognize that they need to look at the story from a whole perspective, from the beginning to the end, and then come up with your own interpretation, your own judgment for it. But in my opinion, this is a top 3 manga of all time. I love this. I'm very, very sad that it's over. Part of me is hoping that maybe one day there'll be a spinoff or, they'll do something else, man. But I just, my first thing coming out of this chapter is, as a whole, Attack on Titan is just one of the all-time great mangas. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not super surprised at the ending. I'm not super surprised. I could kind of see them going down this route, right? A lot of the characters survived. Eren died. We already knew this if you guys were here for last month's manga review, right? And, they set up I wouldn't say an uncertain future, but they set up a future where there's hope for the people of Paradise Island. There's hope for our fan favorite characters, that things will work out for them in the end. And they'll be able to set up lives for themselves, not only in the present, right, where they'll be able to live in a more free society, but that, even into the future, right, that their kids, their ancestors, right, the people that come after them, they will be able to live better lives because of their actions. And I feel like that's the big thing that this chapter hits home. So like I said, there's a lot to dissect from this chapter, a lot, right? There's so much wrap up, like you finally kind of understand why Eren made the decisions that he made, right? And then you have to wrap up everything else with the other characters. We find out what happens to the power of the Titans. We get a little more understanding about Ymir, right? We get to see what happens with these characters into the future and what does the world look like, post the rumbling. Right. And there's still, I'm not going to lie, there's still a couple of lingering questions, which I feel we will probably get answered because now that Isayama is finished with this manga completely, right, he's going to have more time to do interviews. He's going to have more time to actually talk about, some of those lingering questions. And, I don't know what his next work is going to be, but of course it's going to be hyped just because of how great Attack on Titan was. And, so for some of those lingering questions, I'm not going to get on him too much for not answering all of them because remember, they had to fit a lot into this final chapter, and they did. And for the most part, I'm fine with the ending. I'm not even 100% surprised by the ending. Last chapter, you guys saw how emotional I got with that chapter because I didn't expect any of that. I did not expect that, for everybody to turn into pure Titans and for Mikasa to have to take out Eren in that matter, even though we all knew it was mostly going to be Mikasa, the fact that they did it in that way was absolutely, heart-wrenching for me, right? And, we're going to talk about it, but Man, I just we'll just have to start from the beginning and work our way through because there's just so much to talk about here. And basically, so the chapter starts off with a conversation with Eren and Armin, and this has been a conversation that's been needing to happen for a while now. Right? Remember, Eren and Armin really haven't had a conversation with one another since Eren told Mikasa, I've always hated you, right? And Armin called Eren a slave after, Eren hit Armin with that huge knee to the face. So this is a conversation that we've been waiting to happen, and we kind of knew it was gonna have to happen some point here in the finale, and that's how the chapter starts off. The crazy thing to think about is, it starts off and it's slowly as the panels go through, Eren and Armin get older. You see them get older, and I kind of love those little small details, right? If you focus too much on the dialogue, you may not even notice that Eren and Armin, they're getting older and older as their conversation and dialogue takes place. So it starts off, Armin says, I get that you needed to do it after you saw the future with the Attack Titan's powers, but did you really need to riddle me with holes, huh? What was the reason for the knee kick? So Armin has not forgotten how Eren hit him with that dreadful knee strike, right? You guys just saw that in season 4, episode 14, just a couple weeks ago, right? That dreadful knee strike that Eren hit Armin with, right? And Armin has not forgotten about it. Eren says he felt desperate. He needed to separate himself from all of you, right? But at the same time, he was asking himself, what am I doing? So Eren feels like he was just going with the flow of events. So Eren's, the reason why he was so violent towards his friends is because he felt desperate. He felt desperate because he felt like, his friends would distract him too much from the path that he needed to follow. But at the same time, he had those thoughts in the back of his mind like, why am I doing this? Why am I turning on the people who have been with me since the beginning? And I knew those thoughts were always there. There was no way. We knew that even though Eren was acting like a stone cold killer, there was no way in the back of his mind he wasn't thinking about his friends the entire time he was doing these things. Right? The times when he told them, oh, you have to kill me. I am free. All those conversations. He could have took out his friends at any moment if he truly wanted them to. But at the end of the day, he believed that everything he was doing was for his friends to have a future, for them to be able to live, better lives. And, you could see that now, So as they're talking, Eren apologizes. He says, I'm sorry. But Armin's like, nah, you shouldn't really be apologizing to me. The person you need to apologize to is Mikasa, right? Because remember, Armin's also been thinking about what Eren said to Mikasa. I've always hated you, right? And like I said, it's just ironic that they just did this episode in the anime a couple weeks ago because everyone's talking about it. All the anime only people have been talking about that line for weeks now. Right? And here it is. Armin hasn't forgotten about it. You need to apologize to Mikasa for what you said to her. So getting back into it. So basically, Armin asks the obvious question. You pushed us all away just so you could set us up as the heroes that save humanity. And Eren says, that's right. Eren didn't want anybody else to stop him. He didn't want any other government or any other official to stop him. He wanted the people to stop him to be the people of Paradise Island. His friends, because for years he saw how the world looked at Paradise Island as devils, as threats. But if the people of Paradise Island were the ones who stopped him in the rumbling, right, that would force the world to admit that the people of Paradise Island are the heroes and the saviors of humanity. And that's a fact that you can't take away. No matter how much hate you have for Paradise Island, you cannot take away the fact that they were the ones who saved humanity. And Eren says, all the people in the world would owe you a tremendous debt, right? The world would now hold you in the highest regard. At least that was his plan. So basically, Armin's like, so still, what would stop them from, taking revenge on us? This is crazy. So Eren says that they won't be able to take any revenge anytime soon because 80% of humanity was killed during the rumbling. So it will be almost nearly impossible for any nation to come up with a, significant army to be able to challenge Paradise Island. Because 80% of that's crazy. So Eren was able to destroy 80% of mankind with the rumbling. And if Paradise Island hadn't stopped them, that would have probably got up to 90%, maybe even 95%, right? Paradise Island would have probably been all that was left because that's what Eren's intention was. 80%, bro. Think about that. There's, what, about close to 8 billion people on the planet now? Think about that. Imagine they took about 80% of humanity. That's about what? I would say about a little over 6 billion people. No, a little more than that. That's what I would say that's close to 65, 7 billion. No, 65. What am I saying? 6.5, 7 billion people. So imagine just like that. In a couple of days, right? 80% of humanity is wiped off the planet. 6.5 to 7 billion people gone. It's crazy. I don't know. It kind of reminds me of Thanos a little bit if you think about it, right? If you think about Infinity War, how Thanos wanted to wipe out half the population to save all the resources, right? So that humanity could thrive and survive, right? But still, that wasn't Eren's intention here. He was going to destroy everybody but Paradise Island. So, and look at Armin's shock. Like, that was my shock when I read this for the first time last night. But Armin's like, did you really need to go that far for our sake? But, Eren's like, let's continue talking. So they start talking about Ymir, and like you said, now they're starting to grow up. See, Armin goes back to the bowl cut, right? Eren looks more like his season 2 self. So basically, now you can see there's a volcano, and these are things that Armin's never seen before. Remember, Armin's goal was to go out and see the rest of the world. What else did humanity have to offer, right? And we think, and the thing is, this is also the first time Eren's seeing this too. Eren's like, is this something like liquid fire? It's flowing like a river. So this is the first time they're seeing lava, right? So they're talking about Ymir, and Eren explains, Ymir's backstory, which you guys already know, right? How she was tortured after gaining the power of the Titans and all that. But the reason why she never, betrayed King Fitz or went against him, even though she had the power of the Titans, is because at the end of the day, she loved King Fitz. She loved King Fitz, and we understand that. And this is one of those lingering questions. We still really don't know what happens to Ymir here at the end, right? Does she leave with the power of the Titans when the power of the Titan leaves planet Earth for good, and she just goes off to some other alien planet, right? And maybe if there's like species over there, the power of the Titans, becomes part of that planet? I don't know. That's a lingering question that we got to ask ourselves coming out of this chapter. But still, Eren says, but Eren says, the Ymir being in love with King Fitz, that was the reason why, Ymir's restriction had stayed for all these years, right? And Eren says, I couldn't look any deeper into the founder Ymir's heart, but I know for certain that she was in pain, wishing for freedom. She waited 2,000 years for someone. She continued to hope that someone could free her from the pain of her love. Finally, they arrived, and that person was Mikasa. So Mikasa was the key. We always knew that Mikasa was the key. It wasn't Eren at the end of the day, even though he was the main character. Just look at the covers. Just look at all the hints that were dropped. It was going to be Mikasa that was going to be the key to determine humanity's fate at the end of the day, right? Every single time they asked Mikasa, can you take out Eren? Can you stop the rumbling? Are you willing to put your love for Eren to the side to do what's necessary for humanity to have a future? They dropped all these hints. And you see now they're entering more into, season 4 territory, right? You can see Eren's hair starting to change, become a little longer. So is Armin's. So basically, Armin asks, why was it Mikasa? Like, why was she the key, right? And this, like I said, this is a lingering question. This is my second lingering question, right? My first question, what happens to Ymir? Is she stuck with the power of the Titans forever? Does she just go wherever the power of the Titans got sent to? Or does she get reincarnated into a new being? Is she free to do what she wants on Earth? Like, what happens? We don't get an answer to that. And, that's one of my lingering questions. Second, why was Mikasa the key? We could come up with our own theories all we want, But Ymir chose Mikasa as the key to determine what would happen to the power of the Titans on Earth, right? So Eren says, that's something only the founder Ymir would know. Even I am still wondering what Mikasa will do. I still don't know. I can only say one thing for certain. Ymir choosing Mikasa was what led to this end result. Everything was only for the sake of reaching this end result. This end result. All I did was follow the path. I massacred 80% of all of humanity. But every time I hear that, it's just like, wow, right? I made all Paradise Islands start killing each other. I got my precious friends dragged into this war, all the while not knowing if any of them were even still alive. And Armin's like, so that's the future you saw. You guys remember the last episode of season 3 when Eren kisses Historia's hand? That was the future Eren saw, right? And Armin realizes that burden must have been something very difficult to carry. And you can see, right, Eren starts to get emotional. And this is, and remember, we haven't seen this side of Eren. In season 4, you don't get to see a lot of that. You don't even get to see that a lot in the manga where season 4, part 1 picks up. Leaves off, right? Because all you see is Eren's, has that negative mindset, that stone cold look on his face, right? That he must keep going forward. Now you're finally getting to see Eren, go back to more of his childless mentality, back the way he was throughout most of season 1 and season 2. So Eren says here, my thoughts have become incoherent. The influence that the Founder's powers bring about have no past or future. They all exist at the same time, and that's why it was inevitable. On that day, at that time, Bert wasn't yet supposed to die. Oh, man. That's why I overlooked and I said. So they go back to the moment where Armin becomes a Titan, right? When Bert died and Armin regains the colossal Titan power. So Eren knew all this was going to happen, but yeah, he overlooked that. And the only reason why Bert's mentioned here is because Armin has his memories. Armin has his power at the end of the day. So it's like Bert has become somewhat part of Armin, But we see at that moment, Armin thinks of that moment and he grabs Eren's hand and he's like, let's go. And now they're entering into, more modern day territory. You see, Eren got his long hair all tied up. Armin has his look. So now they're at the sea, right? Now they're at the sea. Basically, there's a huge Easter egg to season 3's ending. So basically, they gotta talk about Mikasa. They've talked about Ymir. They talked about Armin. They've talked about the rumbling. Now they gotta talk about Mikasa and Eren's feelings for her. All right, Armin asks the big question. Do you think she could forget about you and live happily with someone else? Because we all know Mikasa's a beautiful girl. She's a badass too. Who wouldn't want somebody like that as a partner, as a wife, right? And Eren says, I don't know. And then we see Armin hit Eren with a huge punch, leaving a scar. And, that for Armin fans, I know you're going to love that because people have been wanting to see Armin get that payback on Eren for that kick. Remember, Armin says he haven't forgot about the kick, right? And Armin's like, don't give me that nonsense. I don't remember forgiving you for what you said. How did you feel about bluntly turning down Mikasa's feelings for you? Did you think that you could get away with simply saying, forget about me, to Mikasa, the one person who put her life on the line just for you, right? And Armin says, Mikasa ought to forget about a heartbreaker like you and find happiness elsewhere. Well, she might easily find a good man. I love Armin here, bro. I love this, man, because Armin never forgot. He never forgot about how Mikasa felt. Because remember, there's a scene early, I forget, it hasn't been animated yet. It's when the others get free from prison and Mikasa's asking about Eren and Armin says, stop talking about him, man. I don't even know, if I'm going to make it out of this battle, but yet you want to keep talking about Eren. Remember, Armin was very fatigued and, Armin was basically, he was almost like ready to give up and die, because he couldn't really see what to do. He had no plan, but Armin was always thinking about Eren and Mikasa, always thinking about how Eren just never, ever acknowledged Mikasa's true feelings and just ignored them and went around his own path. So I love how Armin, never forgot. And he gets a little bit of payback here. I love this scar that Eren gets on his cheek here. But this panel, This panel I know is going to make a lot of people pissed off because, like I said, when I tell you guys, Eren goes back to that season 1, season 2 mentality where he's like kind of childless, right? Look, read this right here. All right. Eren says no, right? And you see, I don't know, simp Eren. I'm kind of surprised that's not trending on Twitter. Eren being a simp. Eren's like, I don't want that. I want her to only have feelings for me. I don't want her to find another guy. Even after I die, I want her to hold me in her heart for a long time. So Eren basically saying if things could be different, he would be with Mikasa. That's basically what he's saying here, right? And even though he knows that Mikasa is going to be the one to kill him at the end of the day, he wants Mikasa to never forget about him and only have feelings for him years after that. He doesn't want Mikasa to move on, right? And Armin's like, I see. I didn't know you could say something so awkward, so blatantly. So Armin's thinking the same thing we are. Basically, Armin's saying, oh, you're a simp. That's basically what you are at the end of the day. Because you would never expect, especially Eren now, to say something like this. So Eren says, please don't tell Mikasa I said that. I want her to live happily. I really do, but damn it. So this is when I started really feeling for Eren here, right? Eren says, I don't want to die. I want to be here with Mikasa and with all of you. And now you see Armin get emotion because Armin's been waiting he's been waiting for Eren to say that. Remember in season 4, that scene where we see them working on the tracks, right? And we see Eren tell them that he doesn't want anybody to inherit his Titan powers. He wants them all to live happy lives, right? That was like the last feel-good Eren moment that he got with the rest of them before everything went to shit in season 4 with the attack on Marley and everything after that. This hits deep because now Eren's finally realizing, like, damn, I'm gonna die, right? And I did all of this for my friends to have a future, but it's a future I'm not going to be a part of. I'm not going to be able to have a happy ending and live with Mikasa. I'm not going to get that ending. I'm also, not going to get to be there with my friends and see what happens after the rumbling. I'm not going to get to see them all grow up and become these pillars of society and work to build a better future for Paradise Island. And that's just crazy, and it hits deep. It hits deep because whether you like Eren or not, man, you know, now that you're seeing Eren finally confessed, right? Because he said earlier that his thoughts were incoherent. He was being influenced by Zeke. He was being influenced by Yenna. He was being influenced by his friends. He was being influenced by Ymir. He was being influenced by the power of the Titans. And remember, Eren had so many burdens on him that, his mindset was never 100% narrow. It was never 100% straight. Right? He was so conflicted that he was basically blind. He had blinders on to everything else. And all he could focus on was going forward. And maybe I need to do another video where we just look into Eren's mindset, and take this psychological approach. I've never been a big psychological guy, but just seeing Eren's character arc here, I'm going to come out and say it. Eren's character arc is one of the greatest character arcs in the history of manga. The history. You could talk about Naruto. You could talk about, Vegeta. You could talk about, Bakugo from My Hero Academia. You can go through all of your favorite animes and pick the characters with the greatest character arcs. Eren's character arc throughout all of Attack on Titan is one of the greatest I've ever seen in manga. To see where this guy starts off, right? When we first meet him, right? When he watches his mom get sacrificed, and then to see where he ends up here at the end, right? From turning into, the ultimate hero into the ultimate villain, and seeing why why he made those choices and the impact it had on him and the people around him. It's one of the greatest character arcs I've ever seen. It's beautiful. It's tragic. It's heroic. There's so many adjectives you can use to describe it, and it's just crazy to think about. It really is, and I gotta give respect to the creator, man. Izama. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Izama. I had to pull up his name because I knew that there's just so much going through my head. I knew I was gonna mess his name up, but I gotta give Izama credit for making this character Eren Yeager such a special character. So many layers, underneath his personality. So much to analyze, so much to look at, and just to see it come full circle here, man. Like this hits these panels. These panels, man, these two panels hit deep, and we're barely halfway through the chapter. That's the crazy part about it. Armin finally gets emotional, right? Because, like I said earlier, Armin's been waiting for Eren to see that. Armin's been of the belief, for the most part, that there's a reason why Eren's doing this, and he needs to have the conversation with him. And we don't get to see this conversation till the final chapter. That's crazy. We don't get to see that till the final chapter. And Armin just says, "Don't give up. Let's find it. There must be another way." But Eren says, "I can't. It's too late. All those people who probably didn't want to die too, and yet there's no way I'll be forgiven for this." So Eren understands that even if he wanted to survive, right? Even if he wanted to make it past this and have a future with Mikasa and have a future with the rest of his friends and see what the future for Paradise Island, what's in store for it, right? You can't overlook that Eren killed 80% of mankind. 80% of humanity was killed by Eren's hands with the rumbling. All those other people that Eren killed with the rumbling, they didn't want to die just like he doesn't want to die. So would it be fair for Eren to have a future to live, but for all those other people who died to not live? So Eren gets a happy ending while all those other 80% of humanity don't? They're just forgotten now? They're just, their legacy is being victims of the rumbling? So I just love it. So you see here, Eren and Armin, they look. And you see at this wasteland, all you see is the footprints of the colossal titans as everything was destroyed. And Eren says, even if I wasn't aware to how this would all end with you guys stopping me. So Eren knew that this was going to end with Mikasa and them stopping him. I still would have reduced everything in this world to dust, just like I said. He would have continued with the rumbling and killed everything but Paradise Island. I've annihilated most of the forest. In a few days, this land will be filled with insects that have grown fat on the carrion. I wanted to turn all the earth into a brand new land, but why? And Eren thinks of his father, and how his father said, "You are free." Eren says, "I don't know why, but I wanted to at any cost." And Eren says it's now time. Armin has to, return to the future, but we finally get to see that conversation. So Eren says, "I'm going to erase the memories of the time you spent here, because the next time we see each other, we'll be trying to kill each other." And that's what's happening in the present. Remember, we just saw Eren and Armin, right? Eren had his own colossal titan form going up against Armin. Armin got a couple of good looks in, and it's set up for Mikasa to, make the final move. But Armin says thank you. Armin says thank you for turning yourself into a mass murderer for our sake. I swear I won't let this transgression go to waste. So finally, and now I'm starting to get emotional because finally Armin understands why Eren did it. He did it for them. He did it for them. And, the consequence is he will not be able to have a future. 80% of humanity is now gone. The power of the Titans will leave planet Earth, so there will be no more Titans, right? And it will be up to Armin and the rest of the scouts that survive this to dictate what the future for Paradise Island will be. So we see Eren and Armin embrace. Eren says, "I don't know what will happen after I die. I know that you can go beyond the walls. The one who will save humanity is you, Armin." And Armin's holding that seashell he got at the end of season 3 in his hands, right? And we see Armin wake up and he sees that dove. You see that dove that we see basically every single chapter, right? And you see Annie's on the boat. So basically that's when Armin wakes up. But we go back to present time. We see that eagle once again, and then we see dust and steam everywhere as Armin has returned into his normal form, right? And the thing about it is, Armin doesn't have any scars. Because remember, last time we saw Armin, he was heavily damaged, heavily wounded with the colossal titan power. But now he's back to normal, 100% healed. And he's like, wow, I remember. And all of a sudden, Mikasa comes up with Eren's head, right where we left off last chapter, after Mikasa beheaded Eren, and Eren is in fact dead. He doesn't have the skeleton with him, right? He's not gonna regenerate. Eren is in fact dead. He's 100% dead. And you can see Armin gets emotion here, and we see Armin embrace dead Eren. And Mikasa's like, your memories have finally returned. Memories of the day when Eren came to visit us. And look at this. Look at this. This proves that the power of the Titans has in fact left planet Earth, right? Because look, everyone that was turned to a Titan last chapter, we thought it was the end for them. No matter what, they're done, right? They're pure Titans now. No, they all returned back to normal. Jean, Reiner survived. That's crazy. Reiner's gonna make it out of this. Connie, Gabby, Falco, all of them. And they're all getting emotional. I remember it all. That damn fool, Jean. So they're all getting their memories back. They're all realizing why Eren did what he did, right? Reiner says, Eren, what a man you are. Reiner is saying this. What a way to end Reiner's story with Eren, right? What a man you are. Connie says, he said that my mother would also become human again. And Andy says, he told us to live long lives. But what about you? We never asked for your help, you reckless idiot. We see Annie embrace with her father finally. You see Peck. Oh, man. This stuff hits hard. Peck says, I wanted to speak with him too. Oh, man. All right. We see Falco, my boy Falco, man. I love this character so much. Falco goes running after Gabby, right? And you see our boy Levi. Levi made it. My favorite character made it. I had one request, just one, for Levi to make it through, and he did it. We don't have to worry no more. No tears. Oh, man, no tears, man. Levi made it through. He survived. Look at this. And you see, Levi gets surrounded by all his comrades, all his former scout members, Erwin, we got Hanji, all of them, man. And he's like, you were all watching that. It seems like this is how it ends. The goal that you all had devoted your hearts to. And they all give... Woo! They all give the Survey Scout symbol, bro. Devote your hearts. Wow. That's an emotional one, bro. That's emotional because you guys know Levi's my favorite character, and I had been so worried that he was not gonna make it through this. Every single chapter, they kept foreshadowing that Levi's not gonna make it, but he did. He finished the mission that Erwin set him on to take out the Beast Titan, right? And the mission to save humanity is complete. Devote your hearts. And even though, Levi will never be the same because he'll never, even though he's an Ackerman, he'll never fully heal from these injuries. He probably lost a leg. He may have lost an arm. Who knows? Half his face is gone. But still, these panels, there's so many panels from this chapter, bro. Like, these panels right here, man. My boy Levi, he made it. I love it. Let's go. Levi made it, bro. Let's go. And Levi just smiling here, a rare Levi smile. We also see Sasha. We get to see a quick glimpse of Sasha looking at Jean and Connie. I hated that Sasha and Hanji didn't make it through this. They're always doing the anime girls dirty, but still. Oh, man, that hits deep. That hits deep. We see Gabby and Falco. They reunite with one another. Right? I don't know. That's a weird way to hug. I'm gonna assume that's a hug. It kind of looks like Gabby suplexed him, but I'm gonna assume that's a hug, right? You can see they're blessing at one another. Clearly, Gabby and Falco are meant to be together. And Reiner says, "Mother, I no longer have the power of the armored Titan." More confirmation that the power of the Titans has left planet Earth. And Reiner's mom's like, I'm so glad. Because remember, Reiner's mom was the one that pushed Reiner to gain the power of the Titans because he wanted them to be able to live with their father. That didn't come true, and then we all know Reiner's story from there. But, Reiner's mom is just grateful to be by his side at the end of the day. So Reiner gets to reunite with his mom. Happy endings for most of the crew. And the thing is, we're not done. So Mikasa's like, I'll be going. And Armin's like, where are you going? Well, Mikasa plans to give Eren a burial, right? And Armin's like, you're right. This is not the right place for Eren to have his final resting spot. So Armin's like, take him to rest in a quiet place. And it's crazy here because Eren's body is not there, right? I don't know what happened to the rest of Eren's body, right? I guess the rest of his body died with the Dino Titan, and when the rest of the Titan powers left planet Earth. But you guys see here, man, Eren's head will be buried in a place that him and Mikasa and Armin spent a lot of time when they were children. Mikasa's like, Eren always liked dozing off in that place. And Armin believes that's the perfect place. And we see Mikasa slowly walk away as she starts to walk back home to Paradise Island. Wow. So we see the rest of the forces, right? And the first thing they do, oh my gosh. The first thing they do, they draw weapons at one another. And I'm just like, seriously? Are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? Drawing weapons at one another after everything they all just went through, right? And Andy's father is like, Eren Yeager is dead. The power of the Titans has also been eliminated from this world. We're all just regular humans now. And how can you prove that, right? And basically, they're just like, please prove it to us. We don't want to fight anymore, but you got to prove it to us. And then here comes Armin. Armin used the ODM gear to get back over it. And I love Annie's face here. Because Annie was like, okay, bet, let's fight, right? Even though she doesn't have her female Titan powers anymore, she can still fight. But we see Armin. Armin says, if there was anyone left with the power of the Titans, we'd be using that to protect ourselves right now. Right? Which is true, right? Reiner would probably go into his armored Titan form. Armin would probably go into colossal form. And we see, I just love I love Andy's face. Armin says, instead, even after having guns pointed at our heads, we're still powerless humans. This is above all is proof that we are just humans now. And the general asks who he is. And Armin says, I am Armin, an Eldian of Paradise Island. I am the one who killed the attack Titan Eren Yeager. So even though it was technically Mikasa, well, Armin, I guess you could say it was Armin, Mikasa, and Eren, and Levi, right? It was Armin, Mikasa, and Levi all working together to kill Eren. But I guess Armin's not going to put that burden on Mikasa. Armin's always been a leader, right? So Armin's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to claim, being the one to kill Eren. Because Armin knows that he has to step up as the new leader of Paradise Island. Everybody's gone. All the leaders have been taken out. Hanji, Erwin, all of them are gone now. So Armin must become the new leader of Paradise Island and dictate their future, like I've been saying over and over again. Man, and we see Mikasa slowly walking away. So now we go back 3 years into the future. Time skip, 3 years have passed. And history remembers this battle as the battle of heaven and earth. We see Historia. Good to see Historia's gotten her young beauty back, right? She's no longer pregnant. She's married to, I guess, this guy, right? I forget his name. I don't think we ever really find out his name. But we see that Historia had a daughter. And does this confirm this has to be Eren's child? I see Eren, you can see it in her eyes. So instead of a son, Historia had a daughter. That has to be Eren's child. That's lingering question number 3. 1, what happened to Ymir? 2, why did Ymir see Mikasa as the key to ending this war on Earth? 3, is this Eren's child with Historia? It looks like Eren. You guys can't sit here and tell me that doesn't look like Eren. I am convinced. Sure, Historia probably married this guy, but I'm convinced that this is Eren's child. I am convinced. But still, still, if we get confirmation of that, like easily, if they want to, they can set up a sequel right here. Right here, they can set up a sequel. But I'm happy to see Historia's happy, still doing her queen duties. The people who have faced tremendous loss in life and yet survive must be suffering from scars that won't heal. As in, the world mourns its losses amidst anxiety and uneasiness. The nation of Eldia has formed an army under the Jaeger faction and is focusing on strengthening its military forces. Fearing the retaliation of the remnants of the humans who survived on the other side of the ocean, the people of the island raised their voices in unison. If we win, we live. If we lose, we die. If we don't fight, we can't win. That was basically the message of the Survey Corps. It was basically the message of the Jaeger faction. So basically, Paradise Island merged the ideals of the Jaeger faction, which was led by Eren, and the Survey Corps into one. That is great. So Paradise Island became united. Because remember, there was so much politically that was happening when the Jaegers took over. But the fact that they were able to unite, right? That is fantastic. I love it. All right. Fight, fight, fight. Oh, man, who does that remind you of? Fight, fight. Eren Yeager, baby. Woo! So this fight won't end until either the Eldians or the rest of the world is wiped out. Maybe what Eren had said was right. So we see Historia is still queen, but she has leaders around her. Yeah. I love it. So we see Historia is waiting on the docks at the port for somebody's arrival. So even so, Eren chose to entrust us with the future of this world as we live now. So we see a boat arriving to the port of Paradise Island. And on that boat, we see our heroes, our characters, right? They are coming home. So we see Peck, right? So we get to see Peck looking all beautiful. And remember, Peck, she was kind of lazy. She never really took care of herself because she stayed as the car titan for so long. We have Connie, we have Jean, we have Reiner. So all of them, man. Look at them, man. Look at them all looking fresh with their suits, right? Connie grew out his hair a little bit more. Armin looking fresh. Armin, that's the best Armin's ever looked. Look at that clean look. I love it. So Izama gave them all modern day looks. I love it. So we see Reiner sifting over Historia's handwriting. Wow. And you see Jean's like, how many times should I tell you to stop lusting after a married woman? How disgusting, right? And we see Jean's taking care of his long hair. Oh, man, I love it. I love it. And Jean's like, I'm disappointed that you get to live a nice long life, Reiner. So Reiner gets to live a long life. Everyone who made predictions of when Reiner was going to die failed because Reiner gets to live a long life. So it looks like since the power of the Titans has left the Earth, they all, I guess, got kind of like reset lifespans. So Reiner's going to get to grow old. So will Armin. So will the rest of our heroes, the ones who had powers of the Titans. So Peck, Armin, Reiner, Annie, all of them. So we see Annie, right? Look at Annie, modern day Annie. All right, it looked like Armin and Annie did end up with one another. Annie's like, Armin, do you really think things will go well? To think that the same group who destroyed the walls, betrayed Paradise, and killed Eren, the same group who the Eldians revered, would serve as the ambassadors of peace negotiations between them and the allied nations. So basically, the rest, so that's crazy. So our heroes, all of them, the only ones you don't see here are Falco, Gabby, Levi, and Mikasa. The rest of them became ambassadors for Paradise Island. So basically, they would be responsible of negotiating peace for Paradise Island to the rest of the world, right? So like I said, they're the ones who are dictating the future of Paradise Island. They're trying to make peace with the rest of the world. They don't want the fight anymore. And remember, it goes right along, especially with Armin's character, because Armin was always the guy who would say, why can't we just talk things talk things out? Why does it always have to lead to violence? So I love that. I love that. So Armin truly does become basically the leader of Paradise Island after Historia, right? All right, but Armin says, or not Armin, Connie. Carmen says, Her Majesty the Queen, who without hesitation took Jean's family and my mother under her protection, will surely protect us too. So it looks like Connie's mother did become a human again after all, because the power of the Titans left planet Earth, which is great. So Connie gets his ending. I love this. So Annie's like, or in our weakened state, they might just so Armin stops Annie. So Annie's like, in our weakened state, even though it's been 3 years, Annie's still thinking about how they no longer have the power of the Titans. But that it makes sense for Annie's character. But Armin says, Annie, conflict between people will never end. But if they see us together like this, everyone would surely want to know what we experienced. Right? And we get to see, look at our boy, look at Ani Kapoton, look at Fly with the suit. I love it. I love it. Looking like a Bobby Lashley. If you guys know wrestling from my WWE people. But we see, look at that. 3 years have passed. Gabby and Falco, they're teenagers now, right? Falco and Gabby going on a nice little growth spurt. Puberty treating them well. Look at my boy Falco with the Turner neck, looking fly. Why the very same people who were at each other's throats not so long ago are now coming together to paradise to appeal for peace. We must tell them the truth of that story. So we see Levi reading a newspaper. It looks like he's in a suit. He's reading a newspaper. He is in a wheelchair, but still, the fact that Levi survived, that's all that matters. Look, Levi, it looks like he's blind in one eye, so he did lose an eye, right? And he is in a wheelchair, but, he still survived the damn day. That's all that mattered. I thought Levi was going to open up like a shop, like a cleaning store or something like that, or have his own cleaning business. Because that, or maybe Levi would have a tea shop. So I was thinking either Levi would have a tea shop or he would have his own cleaning store. I thought that would be one of the two things Levi would do. We don't. That's lingering question number 4. So add that to the list. So the 4 lingering questions I have: what happened to Ymir? 2, why did Ymir see Mikasa as the key? 3, what are all these characters? What are their job occupations now? Right? Are they just normal civilians? Like, what are they doing each and every single day now? Right? And I forgot my 3rd question. It was something to do with Eren, but you guys who've been watching the whole time, you guys probably already know it, right? But still, we see as they are arriving to Paradise Island, we see that dove once again. I love this visual right here. All of them on the boat chilling. Look at Armin. Armin looks so fly here. Of course, Annie's looking right at Armin. They're probably in love, right? Maybe, who knows? Maybe they're even married for all I know. But I love this. And then last but not least, we have Mikasa over here. She is at Eren's gravesite. It was the tree where Eren used to take naps all the time when they were playing as children, right? So Mikasa's like, Eren, everyone will be here to meet you, because she knows they're all coming to Paradise Island, for peace negotiations. I love it how Mikasa has her hair all tied up. So Mikasa, she hasn't moved. It looks like Mikasa hasn't moved on yet with a guy, but still, just to see Mikasa happy and smiling. Wow. So Eren got a nice small tombstone, right? He got some flowers over there. So I'm guessing Eren's head is under this, probably decayed by now. It's been 3 years, who knows? But still, man. And you look at it. Mikasa looks over the land, remembers their childhood. Mikasa's like, I wish I could see you again. And all of a sudden, a dove, that same dove we keep looking at, comes over and pecks at Mikasa's scarf. I don't know if this will come some kind of Buddhist mentality. I know in the Buddhist tradition, like when you die, you get reincarnated as somebody else. That's their belief. So I don't know. Did Eren get reincarnated as a dove? Because we see that dove in almost every chapter at least once. We also see that dove in like 5 other moments in this chapter alone. So did Eren get reincarnated as a dove? And this is like him telling Mikasa, like, hey, I'm still here. You know, even though I'm not a human anymore, I'm still always with you. I don't know. That's the way I interpret this. So that's my fifth lingering question, my final lingering question, right? Did Eren get reincarnated as a dove? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but still. The final panel, as the dove flies away, Mikasa says, Eren, you wrapped the scarf around me. Thank you. And there it is, the end of Attack on Titan. How long have we been recording? An hour? Oh, wait, 50 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. But there it is, guys. There it is. There's the ending. Wow, I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy. I told you guys from the jump that Eren surviving this was very unlikely. Very unlikely. For those of you guys who wanted Eren to get that happy ending with Mikasa, there was just no way that Eren was going to get that after taking out 80% of humanity. It just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense. It would probably cause more problems for Paradise Island in the long run if they had tried to hide Eren, or Eren had survived and tried to live a secret life in Paradise Island. It would have never made sense. Eren had to die. He had to die for his actions. I'm just happy that we get an explanation for those actions in this chapter. It makes sense. There was a lot of factors that came in for Eren's reasoning and the choices that he made. But I'm very happy that at least we got that explanation here. All in all, I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy that our heroes survived, right? I'm happy that Levi made it. You know, the fact that Armin becomes an ambassador for peace negotiations for Paradise Island, and so do Annie and Peck and Jean and Connie. They all join him. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that Gabby and Falco get to grow up, right? My boy Annika Poton looking fly. I'm happy that he got to grow up. I'm also happy for, you know, for all these characters, man. For Historia, I'm still convinced that has to be Historia's child with Eren. I am convinced that, you know, maybe one day we get a sequel. I don't know if it would be called Attack on Titan. Maybe it would be something completely different. But still, I'm happy with the way they ended it. I really am. You know, if Eren had survived, I felt like that would have been way too much fan service. He had to die. But it's just more the explanation. That's what I'm happy about. Like I said, I have those 5 lingering questions, right? Did Eren get reincarnated as a dove? What happened to Ymir? Why did Ymir see Mikasa as the key? And the last question was, it had something to do with Eren, right? And 5, the last question was, is Historia's child also Eren's child, right? Because the child looks like Eren, you know. But those were my 5 lingering questions, man. But hopefully we'll get those questions answered at some point. Well, let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think the answers to those questions I have are, right? Let's talk about it. But either way, man, this was fantastic. A fantastic way to end Attack on Titan. I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss it, man. And now that we know what's going to happen, it gets me even more hyped to see this animated, because we're going to get to see this animated most likely the next year and a half, right? We're going to finally get to see Attack on Titan come to an end. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the ending, man. You know, and like I said, this is one of the greatest mangas of all time. It truly is. But let me know what you guys thought of the final chapter. I'm going to remind you guys, if you guys did or did not enjoy this chapter, make sure to look at this as a whole. Don't let this one chapter be your basis and your judgment for the series as a whole. This is an epic manga with an epic finale. So make sure you guys go back, read the entire story if you have to, and then come to an actual judgment. Don't let recency bias ruin what was a fantastic series, right? Sure, was it perfect? No series is perfect. But still, at the end of the day, I loved it. I think they did a great job here with the finale. and hopefully you guys did as well. But either way, let's talk about it. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video. I'll probably have a couple more Attack on Titan videos because there's just so much to talk about coming out of this chapter. But if you guys enjoyed, leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you guys are new by hitting the button next to my name, Fitzmonk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I'm going to get out of here. You guys stay safe and healthy, y'all. I will have some reactions to the final 3 episodes of part 1 of season 4 of AOT in the next week or so, right? This is my first video in like a week because I've been very busy. And I'm just trying to get back to, doing normal things now. But other than that, guys, that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you guys later, man. Stay safe and healthy, y'all. Peace. Thank you. Thank you, Izama. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Peace.